Good evening and welcome to TNT Off the Rail. It is April 3rd, 2020. In a weird place right now. A lot of goofy stuff going on. I need to change some of this here. Trying a couple of different things tonight. So, just bear with me here. Got a couple things coming up for you tonight. We talked about it the other night. In our last episode, we talked about some more of the player interviews. I have a couple. I have a player interview tonight, and I'm actually I think we're gonna do two director or operator interviews. I had a chance the other day to sit down and talk to a couple operators locally here. One does a men's league in Sterling, and the other one does a junior league in Clinton and at Sharkey's. Sorry, kind of spaced out. You'll notice here I have tortured you with a small view of myself up there tonight, just so that you know that I'm actually hiding back here. You'll notice I added some stuff to the ticker. Just jump into a little bit of news I found digging around Facebook. I know there's a bunch more. Kind of got a little behind on some of it. ACS board recently announced, and you probably got the email, they recently announced the cancellation of the Omega Billiards 2020 ACS National Championships in Las Vegas, the May 9th through the 16th dates. Got just a lot of really messed up things going on right now, just really throwing a big wrench in everybody's plans, and it's not a lot of fun. Don't forget, though, you part of the show, jump in this chat box, say hey. You can text me as well. That'll be a little quicker, easier way to get me, and I'll try to interact with you as much as I can. ACS is saying that their refunds will be made as far as venues and hotels and things like that, depending on how you booked your rooms. Will depend on how you have to go about getting your refunds. So check with the venue that you made arrangements with. ACS also will be refunding all the entry fees back to the original funding sources sometime between mid-April and mid-May. And they're also saying that any of the teams, championship teams that took advantage of the free entry perks for the 2020 Nationals, those perks will be honored for the 2021 Nationals. The fees will be refunded and will need to be resubmitted. And they are also requesting that all your team members still take part in ACS sanctioned leagues during the 2020-21 league year, to get all the weeks played that you need. So make sure you check the ACS site for that, ACS or AmericanCueSports.org for all the information. Another little tidbit I found today, something kind of cool. He's actually ties into one of our player interviews we did that we're going to show you tonight. Littman Lights, they built some really cool custom LED pool table lights. They did a thing through their Facebook page where they were honoring and spotlighting some junior players in the area, and they gave away some Littman lights to some juniors. You can find the entire list on their Facebook page. Just search Littman Lights on Facebook. I'm going to mention Sam Ryan Henderson's name because, well, like I said, he's one of the player interviews that we're going to highlight tonight, and I don't want to butcher the rest of the names. So, congratulations to all the kids on that list, up and coming players that Littman wanted to make sure that they, that they spotlighted and wanted to let the world know these were up and coming players. So check that out, Lemon Lights on Facebook, on their Facebook page. Tonight's episode brought to you again this week by CBM Construction. Get a hold of Bill at CBM today for all your new construction, remodeling, and HVAC needs. Fair and honest prices with a 20% first-time discount. Proudly serving Whiteside, Lee, Bureau, Putnam, and LaSalle counties. Get a hold of Bill, and he will get you set up. I believe he's essential, taking care of things right now, as goofy as everything might be. So make sure you get a hold of him and see what he can do for you. So I am, like I said, you can get a hold of us. You can see the number down there. You can text us, or you can jump in the chat box and ask me a question, or make your shout outs, and we'll do what we can. We're gonna jump kind of right into things here real quick. We're gonna start with this. First interview we did. This is the first interview I'm going to share with you. I sat down with Nate Kennis. Nate runs the junior leagues out at Sharkies normally every Saturday. Obviously, right now things are a little rough going, but he's been taking care of business out there for a while. So take a second, check this out, and be back here in just a few minutes. Hang tight. Sit down and talk with Nate Kennis. Hey, TNT Off the Rail. We're sitting here hanging out with Nate Kennis. Nate, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
All good. Tell everybody where you're from, Nate.
From Bettendorf, Iowa.
Bettendorf, Iowa. And I know you run leagues, but do you run tournaments as well, or?
Yeah, we have juniors tournaments at Sharkies. Usually at the end of their sessions, we run a 12-week session.
Okay. And so how long have you been doing that? How long have you been running leagues and stuff?
It's been about 11 years now for the juniors program.
And so you run, do you do anything besides the junior leagues, or?
No, just the juniors. I
Okay.
just run the juniors.
And you said you do that out of Sharkies, and what age groups do you work with in that?
The youngest age is 7 years old up to 18. We run the APA format, so they kind of dictate the age restrictions for me.
So that kind of answers my next one. It is a sanction for the kids?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And I'm sorry. You said you've been doing it for how long?
11 years.
11 years. Okay. I had two numbers stuck in my head. I didn't want to say the wrong one. So out of the 11 years you've been doing that, how many kids you think you've seen?
Oh my goodness. There's at one time I had probably 30 kids in my league at one time, and down to 10. Yeah, God, it's been hundreds. I mean, Blake Baker is one of my first. So.
There you go, dating everything a little bit. And
Yep.
So obviously being a sanctioned APA thing, how much of it is, do you just throw the kids into it, the playing situation, or, I mean, obviously they're going to come in there with all kinds of different skill levels. Do you find does it work instructionally? I mean, I know APA kind of does that a little bit, but I mean, with the junior side of it, do you find yourself doing more kind of, like an instructional thing where you're helping some of the kids who might come into it with, not very much knowledge of the game?
Yeah. Usually the kids that have never played before, I work with them for a couple weeks until they get the hang of it. And it's just mainly getting their bridge and their stroke down. Then I kind of let the kids themselves teach each other, because I've learned from my kids that they don't listen to adults.
Oh, yeah.
So, so I put them into teams, and I let the captains. We have unlimited timeouts in our league, so the captains can help the juniors at any time during their match. And then they just play a team event, and they get points and patches and awards and all kinds of stuff.
That was my next question was the format, and it's the teams. I'm assuming are kind of like they're usually excuse me, 4-person teams.
It's however many I have show up. We have 4 teams. I got it set up for 4 teams. So if I have 20 kids show up, then everybody, that would be 5, or 25 kids show up. Then there's 5 matches. It's 5-on-5 teams.
Okay.
If I only have 3 show up, then it's a 3-on-3 type thing. And then if a team's short, then we double play. One of the kids get to double play decided by the captain of the team.
Okay. So, kind of jump around a little bit here with everything that's going on right now, and being locked down and everything like that. Did you have a league in progress, or were you getting ready to start one?
We had just had our banquet 2 weeks before Sharkies, and every place shut down. So we were probably 2 weeks into our new session. Yeah, and this is the session where everybody qualifies for St. Louis, the APA Junior Nationals. So we have to get our matches in to get qualified for that. So.
And I kind of been trying my best to keep up with a lot of these different larger events to see if they've made announcements, and that have they made any mention about what they're going to do at the St. Louis one?
No, they haven't mentioned anything about any of the junior nationals yet. They're all still on schedule.
Okay. And when is the St. Louis one supposed to be?
July 9th, I think. It starts on that Thursday and then goes all the way till Sunday.
And you said you guys are 2 weeks into the session. How many weeks did they have to? How many weeks did they have to play to be qualified?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. So there's still time for them to get it done then. If we get back soon.
Yeah. And plus the kids get double play too, so they can. Those matches count also.
And are they all strictly 8-ball, or do they play 9-ball as well?
It's 9-ball. It's each ball's worth 1 point. 9 balls worth 2.
Okay. And what was I gonna ask? I'm assuming Sam probably worked his way through that, yeah.
Yeah. He's been in it since he was 8 years old.
I was waiting to see if I could hear him giggle in the background there. So how many in 1 year? How many sessions do you run? You made mention you just finished one up a couple weeks into this. So how many sessions do you usually get in a year?
3. Usually get in 3 with with all the holidays and parades. If there's a parade, we usually don't do it on those weekends, or the holiday weekends we don't have them. But then we always have a week off after when the session's over too.
So. That was my next question. Was how many? You mentioned the banquet, and then you were into your next session. So I was kind of wondering how much time in between there, and I guess so. And if someone was gonna want to try to find information about this, like online or anything, do you guys have a website or a Facebook page or anything that anybody could look up?
Yeah, it's Quad City APA Juniors, QCA APA Juniors on Facebook. That's where we post if we're having juniors that week, if the snow is bad or whatever, sometimes they'll cancel it. But yeah, QCA Juniors.
All right, we'll get that link put up on there. It'll float around there somewhere. Okay. What was my next question? So this is something I ask a lot of operators. If you had to describe to players and maybe even any of the kids that might be watching that played for you, if you had to describe to them your process of what goes on before and after the kids show up to play, and obviously with the kids, it's they show up and it's hit the balls around, do their thing, they go home, it's all over with. And I don't sometimes obviously even with ourselves when we play pool, a lot of us don't we take for granted what goes on before and after the league. There's a lot more to it. So if you had to describe it to your kids, how would you do that?
Well, we say league starts at 11. Then from 11 to 11:30, just kind of playtime, get them to warm up on the pool tables. Then once the matches start, Sharkies gives us an extra table, so the kids that aren't playing their match or keeping score, they can go to that extra table and just have fun over there and play each other. So the first half hour is just kind of messing around, just having fun. and then the match starts, and then Sharky's also allows the kids to stay on the tables for as long as they want, unless there's a big tournament coming in.
So, and I'm assuming with the APA, with the association with the APA, the kids are learning not only the game itself, but they're learning the scoring system. Because for those who don't know, APA has a pretty structured scoring system, score sheets, and things like that. I'm assuming do the kids with the juniors league, do they do it's a strictly paper thing? Or are they able to use any of the APAs? I know they've been working on an app for people to score, and I don't know. I'm sure I kind of got lost a little bit with everything that was going on, whether they actually got it out and working yet.
I don't think it's released yet, but right now the kids have to keep their own score. When they go down to junior nationals, they don't give anybody scorekeepers, so they have to keep their own score throughout the whole tournament.
So that actually works out good for them, being able to know how to do it. Now I'm only slightly familiar with APA. I mean, I read into it enough to know that for when I do tournaments here and there, I know enough to run a tournament APA rule wise. But as far as the scoring, if you just how would you describe it quickly to someone, kind of how it works?
They keep it's 1 point per ball, 2 points for the 9 ball. They also keep track of innings, and that's kind of what we use to create your skill levels. They keep track of safeties, and points and innings, and then you get your skill level from that.
So what is in your junior leagues? What's what's a good average skill level of most of those kids? And do the skill levels are pretty much the same all the way across the board, junior or do they divide it up between junior? Like, is a junior level different than an adult level?
No, that's all the same. If one of our kids, if Sam, my son, plays in the adult league, he's still a 9 in the adult league. Even he's also a 9 in the juniors too.
So what? We know Sam's amazing. So what's an average player in your league usually skill level wise?
About a 4, 3 or 4. Yeah.
So so you mentioned Blake, and we know Sam's gone through it. How about, and I'm assuming Timmy played.
Timmy played for a little bit. We've had Tyler Howell, River Burke, Josh Franklin, Hayden Hill, who won APA Junior Nationals in the white tier one year. River Burke, I think, won it twice. Cameron Fuller, Justin Nichols, AJ Howell. Been quite a few kids that have went through there. Alec Hanks, Alec Hanks, when I first started the Junior Nationals, he was one of the first kids, and he turns 18 this year, so he's my first one and my last one to be his last year this year.
Oh. So, what's it like seeing them go on and do good stuff? I mean, do a lot of them kind of rag on you? They beat you up on the pool table a lot?
Oh yeah. Oh God, there's so much trash talking with these kids. It's and I take a beating because they don't think I know anything. And yeah, then they start listening to me and they start going up on their skill levels. So yeah, but they all beat me though.
Well, then you must be doing something right. So
right?
that's a plus. So kind of back and forth. How does all this affect? I mean, with what's going on with the pandemic, we were talking about having just enough time to be able to get the rest of their weeks in for this next session for St. Louis. Will this affect it? If it goes on too much farther, how will that affect it? I mean, if they can't get their weeks in, but they still end up somehow playing the St. Louis thing, will they just will it be all for naught for them, or?
I'm not quite sure what the national office is going to say about the tournament. I mean, if the tournament's still going, it's actually we could take the weeks that have been played earlier this year, like around Christmas or New Year's, in that last session, and kind of count those too. So it's kind of up to the national APA office what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, that was weird. What was I have no other question. Where'd my paper go? Probably heard my dog's getting a little crazy in there. important to a good junior league, good junior program?
Having fun. I
We're
mean,
gonna share with you tonight. We have some delivery and things like that, so check out their Facebook pages. We have a lot of them linked, and I share 21. So check out AmericanCueSports.org for more.
Here in the quad.
What Timmy just said.
Basically.
Okay, good. Have you one like the Kelly Clarkson song? Moment in time.
Probably.
Also gave some lights to, and I would read the list to you, but I don't want to butcher the names. I do is to shine that light on that and let people know that the sport's still kicking. We're out here. We want to be seen. We're trying to grow every day. So get a hold of us and we'll see what we can do and make you part of the show. Don't forget, jump in that chat box. You can text us. I'm working on new stuff every day. I'm messing with it all the time. Check out those links in the description. I'll take you over our Facebook page and you can drop a like on that. And of course, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on the video here and click the bell to turn on the notifications. Keep up with everything we got coming up. I've got one more interview that I want to share with you guys. I did this about a week or so ago, so some of the information you'll hear him talk about, we've kind of updated it since. This is Bob Steinhagen. We talked to Bob, like I said, about a week ago. We talked to him a little bit about, how obviously some of the things were going on. They were in the midst of making a decision about what they're going to do with their league. They have since decided to pull the plug on the league, and they're making a decision on the banquet. And as soon as I find out more about that, I'll let you know. But you can, if you shoot in that league, you can obviously find out information on there. They have a Facebook group, and you can check out their their website, srfpool.com. So let's check out this little bit of time I spent with Bob talking to him about his experience as a league operator. All right, we're sitting here with Bob Steinhagen, TNT's Off the Rail. Bob, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Bob, tell the people where you're from.
I'm actually in Rock Falls, Illinois.
All right. And you are a league operator here in Rock Falls, correct?
Yes, league operator, Sterling Rock Falls Men's Pool League.
And how long have you been doing that?
Oh boy, I've probably been associated with the league for I wanted to say 15 years or better. I've been probably league president for 8 or 10, probably, maybe longer. I don't know. That's not one of the things you actually keep track of,
So you kind of fell into it. It wasn't something you started?
No, I was asked to, when the other president resigned, I was asked if I'd be interested in it, and it sort of just happened,
Right. Who did?
Isn't that the way it always goes? We don't go through life saying, geez, what do I want to be when I want to grow up? I want to operate a pool league, Just sort of happens,
The high dollar jobs. So we're going.
Yeah, the high dollar job.
So is that the only league that's the only league you operate on? Is that the Sterling Men's League?
Yeah, I was associated with the ACS Summer League for a while.
Mm-hmm. And you guys play on, if I remember correctly, Thursday night. I think you might have said that, but I was kind of spacing out looking at my paper here.
Yep, no, we're on Thursday nights.
Okay. Where was I? I lost myself. So, and mostly Sterling Rock Falls. Mostly Rock Falls. There's only one or two Sterling bars in that.
Yeah, that's really odd. I believe for a few years we only had like one bar in Sterling where there was a team, and for some reason or another, it seems to be mostly Rock Falls bars. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. we're all trying to grow. So if we were going to send some people your way, try to get you some more players, or if they wanted to find some more information about you, where would
Facebook page, and it's also Sterling Rock Falls men's pool league. I don't know. I should look at it. I guess I'm not very well prepared. You caught me off guard.
Well, that's how we like you. We want people to see in your raw form. We'll throw some links up here, and everybody can check them out for you and stuff like that. And we'll do.
At least I got clothes on. You didn't catch me right out of the shower, so.
Lucky for all of us, huh, Bob?
Yeah, you know how that is.
So, Bob, a lot of people don't. A lot of people just show up to pool leagues. They just they show up, they put their money in, in the envelope, they put their quarters on the table, they shoot their pools, they drink their beer, and they wander off. What if you had to describe part of your process? I mean, try to describe to somebody how much how much actual work there is in running a league. How would you kind of describe that to somebody? I mean, for somebody who didn't know, what goes on after the pool.
I think probably the biggest thing sometimes is, and this sounds terrible, it can be babysitting, and you know that. But for the most part, as far as operating it's not real bad. At least I don't feel it is. There's a little bit of time involved in doing stats and trying to prepare for, the start of a season, or at the end of the season for the banquet and everything like that. But it's you do something like this because you like the game and you want everybody to be treated fairly. It's more about the experience for the people that play in it than it is for you trying to be the dictatorship of something. It's not about me, it's about everybody else that plays in it. So I don't actually think about how much time it takes to do stats, maybe an hour every week or something like that, because we're kind of small. We only have 12 to 14 teams yearly, so it's not real bad, I guess. Is that kind of what you were looking for, sort of?
Yeah, that's absolutely. So, with that being said, what are some of the key things you think are important for a good league? What kind of things do you try to give to your players, offer, those kind of things? What do you think makes up a good league for a player?
Transparency, absolutely transparency, and to be fair. Obviously you're not going to please everybody, but you have to do what's best for the league, and sometimes it involves what you may not want to do when it involves an actual true life friend. But usually they understand that, and it's the good people. If you've got good people playing in your league, then it's so much easier. Again, back to the babysitting or whatnot, so.
Absolutely.
You've ran leagues before,
Oh yeah, I know. I see, and we're going out of our way to try to shed a little light on these things, so people like I said, a lot of people see the league operator and they go, oh, that guy's rolling in my sanction fees and he's just living the high life and he can do whatever he wants. So we're trying to share the experience with them, kind of maybe give them a little behind the scenes look so they kind of know. So, and I know you shoot in your league and a couple other leagues as well. Do you find it? I kind of know my answer to this. Do you find it's easier to shoot in a league you're not running versus shooting in your own?
Yes. Unfortunately, you know how everybody plays, and because we're more of a gentleman's type league. You find yourself maybe not playing as many safeties, or what some people would say is dirty pool or something like that, because the player you're playing against, that's not his thing. Whereas if you're just another name in another league, it doesn't matter. If they don't like your play when you walk out the door, it doesn't matter, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
you kind of, I guess I've always had this thing where I'm shooting in my league and people are looking at me. They're like, oh, this is what he wants his league to be like, or something like that.
yeah,
So and are
yeah,
you kind of you're a one person show, or do you have you mentioned you were the president of this league? Are there other people
yeah.
on?
We have Yes, we have Carlos Urrutia as the vice president, and then we have Roger Adams is in charge of the rules committee. And the rules committee basically, and I've kind of adopted the format that Teresa Lucosi has in the summer league, and that's that all the captains are part of the rules committee. So if we have something where it involves a ruling or the rules committee, then it's all the captains. It's not just I'd like to get it to where everybody's involved. It's not about me. It's about what's trying to be fair for everybody that they're all comfortable and happy with.
Right, and the only way to really do that is to involve everybody, like you said, with that
Yes.
transparency and bringing everybody
Exactly.
into it. So
Transparency is huge.
huge,
Very
absolutely.
huge.
That's one thing that I know, and I know because that's something we've discussed before. Is that's one thing players don't always have an openly have questions, but they have questions, and when you're able to just be like, lay it out there for them, it's a lot easier on everybody. So we're finding ourselves as operators and directors. We're finding ourselves in a really strange situation right now. I know right now your league is actually in a postponed status. And I know we talked, and I don't know if you guys have made a decision, and I'll let you take care of that down the way, as far as what you're going to do going forward with this whole pandemic, scenario we've got going on right now, where everybody's kind of sitting around trying to decide when we're going to get back to doing things, and
I know.
And you guys have, if I remember correctly, right now you guys are in, like I said, you're in a postponed status. You have
Yes.
4 weeks left, 4 or 5 weeks left.
We have 4 weeks left, and then there's usually after the last week there's a couple of weeks of preparation for our banquet. We actually have a food style banquet, with awards, with the money handout. So I don't know. I've got to talk to Roger and Carlos and I are in good communications all the time. So I'll give them guys a call in the next day or so, and we'll decide for sure what we're going to do. I mean, I've talked to obviously you and a couple other operators because this is virgin territory. We've never had it been postponed. It's you ask everybody and everybody says, "Gee, I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" It's.
And unfortunately, right now it's kind of out of our hands. We
do.
Yeah, right now we shy of putting a pool table out on the road, and we're kind of in a situation. So obviously, your players can keep up with everything through the website and everything, and Facebook page. You're keeping information there and letting them know what's going on.
Yes,
So you're like I said, you're at the spot now where you're postponed. There's the possibility that you guys may end up just having to call it quits, because I know you are also running into, and she's in the same boat, Teresa. Her summer league is supposed to be starting, and it'll get to a point where you guys will be bumping heads because you play in the same nights and in the same areas. So if it goes too far, you kind of have to. Almost.
Yeah, and her and I have had some discussions about, well, what happens if we carry into what is normally her time? And I don't want to take into her time, but I also don't want to shortchange our guys.
Right.
Or, as much as anything, the sponsors.
Right.
Because if there's no sponsors, then there's no guys. And obviously without the guys, then there's no league. So
right.
Again, if there's no guys, then sponsors don't. You hate to shortchange everybody.
It's a vicious circle. You can't always comes back to they can't make everybody happy, and you don't.
Yes,
it's what to do. What you do. So obviously, I mean that's this pandemic is really just it's playing heck with everybody.
more so with businesses than it is just pool players.
Absolutely, and it all ties into just a big
Yeah.
vicious circle because
It's a vicious circle. Exactly what I was going to say.
I know a lot of places that we that we rely on to do the things we do as far as our tournaments and our leagues. A lot of those places are in really tight spots right now. Some of them are doing everything that they can to try to keep things going while they and so to me it's something it's actually to me it's kind of pushing me a little more to make sure I keep my players from my leagues informed and letting them know that, hey, as soon as we can, we're going back. We're gonna put butts and seats and quarters and tables there to help them get back on their feet, because a lot of these places have done so much for all of us for years and years and years. I mean, like you said, your league's been going for 15 plus years, and a lot of these places have.
Oh, it's been around. I've been playing in it for probably 20, and I want to say it's probably been around for 35 years at least,
Yeah.
maybe.
And think
A
of all the
long
things,
time.
think of all the things that these places have done for us, for all of us that shoot pools. So, well, I only have maybe one or two more questions for you, Bob. Well, if you had to, I guess if you had to, if you were standing up in front of a room full of all your past, present, and even maybe future players for your league, what's something you'd like to what's something you'd like to say to them?
Boy, now that's a tough question to answer.
I like to do it that way. I like to keep them.
That's an incredible question. That's an incredible question to answer. Gee, I don't know. I think sportsmanship's the most important thing. Sportsmanship and camaraderie. And you can not like somebody when they're not on the pool table, but we should have respect with each other while we're playing. That's probably one of the most important things. We're all regular people, and we put like the old saying, we put our pants on one leg at a time. So we should, just respect, and sportsmanship's the most important thing.
You know what? For an incredible question, that was an incredible answer, Bob.
Thanks.
We've been hanging out with Bob Steinhagen from the Sterling Rock Falls Men's League. You guys play on Thursday nights in Rock Falls and a couple in Sterling. We'll put up some links if they're not already up there, and we'll put some links in the description of the video. Of course, you can always find links on the TNT page as well. Bob and his crew will make a decision here shortly as far as what's going to happen with the rest of their season. We hope that you and everybody else that's itching to play some pool is going to get back to it real soon. I know you probably do, as much as I'm missing the heck out of it. There's a lot of things I can't wait to get back to doing. I really appreciate you taking some time hanging out with us, Bob. Hopefully,
I have a table. I have a table in my basement, so I've been trying to have a few guys over now and then, and there's tables around town. It's not, for the lack of a better term, it's almost underground pool playing again, because there's no public eye like there was.
Everybody's got a 6-foot hula hoop around them so that nobody can get too close.
Nah, we actually shook hands and fist bumped the other night, so
All right.
no hugs and kisses though. So it was all okay.
Bob Steinhagen, Sterling Rock Falls Pool Leagues, thanks very much for hanging out with us here on TNT Off the Rail. We will hopefully see you again real soon. We'll get back to shooting some pool. Bob, you have a great night. Thanks a whole bunch, man.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Mm-hmm. So we hanging out with Bob Steinhagen there, talking to him about some stuff, and like I said, that we did that a week or so ago, so that might explain some of the stuff that you heard. They since made the decision after we had that conversation they did end up pulling the plug on that season, and they are working on what to do as far as their banquet. I'm hoping soon to talk to Teresa about the Rock Falls Summers League. So Teresa, if you happen to see this, you're next. I know she's probably going to have to change her player meeting. I believe that her player meeting was tentatively scheduled for sometime around the middle of April or so, and with a tentative start schedule at the end of April. So obviously that's probably going to get pushed back. I'll find some more information on that, and I'll share it with you here coming up soon. Absolutely would love to have some more player and operator and director interviews to share and to highlight. So absolutely get a hold of me if you'd like to be a part of it. It's a cool experience. It's a neat thing to help everybody get to know each other and share our love for the sport with everybody. Just want to say again, tonight's episode brought to you again by CBM Construction. Contact Bill out at CBM today for your new construction, remodeling, and HVAC needs. Fair and honest prices with a 20% first-time discount. Proudly serving Whiteside, Lee, Bureau, Putnam, and LaSalle counties. You can get a hold of him at 815-716-6727, and you'll also see his email and everything is right there. Get a hold of Bill out there at CBM right now for anything you might need done at your house. And of course, there's a link to his Facebook page down there as well. Check him out. Tell him TNT sent you. Tell him how much you appreciate him helping us bring this show to you. And I'm hoping to highlight some more venues and, like I said, and players and all kinds of stuff. My plan is every week to make this better and better each week. So I appreciate you hanging out with me and bearing with me. And I want to share your story. If you got something to say, you want to, got a shot you think was awesome, or or anything, get a hold of me. We'll share it. We want to put pool back in that limelight that it deserves. That's we're all still here. We're all still shooting, and we want people to see it. So get a hold of us. You can give us a call, text us, hit us up on the Facebook page. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. I'm hoping I'll be around all weekend, so hopefully I can maybe get a hold of and hook up with a couple of you guys to do some more player interviews for the next episode. I may step up episodes. We may bring you more than one a week. Right now, the plan is that for sure at least every Friday night. The time may vary just because life is how it is sometimes. I would really like to spotlight some of the venues that are doing whatever they can right now to get through this whole situation. This is tough, and like you heard us talk about in that interview with Bob, a lot of these places have done a ton of things to help all of us out as far as shooting pool. A lot of these bars have hosted leagues for years and tournaments, and a lot of these places more recently have been allowing TNT to come in and do fight night challenges, which has been awesome. And these guys have done a lot of good things for all of us as far as league play and things like this. These guys hooked you guys up with shirts and drinks and just they've done a lot to help us, and now it's gonna be our time to help them. So make sure that you're taking advantage of the venues that are doing what they can to keep their head above water. They're offering the curbside service, curbside pickup. If they have food or delivery or something like that, and there's multiple ways to help them. Put in an order, swing by, pick something up, share their posts on Facebook, help get the word out there, let people know. Your friend asks, man, I'm looking for something to eat or whatever. Well, hey, the cooler's doing lunch or something like that, or the Froggies, or any of them guys. And I know Shamrock here in town is doing takeout, things like that. Do what you can, share the post, tell somebody, tell a friend, hand out a phone number. We got to stick together in all this, and that's the way we're going to come out of it strong, is to stick together. So check out the links in the description. Stop by the Facebook page. Be a part of the show next time. That's all I have for tonight. Like I said, get a hold of me this weekend. We can sit down and get together and do a player interview and share your love for the sport with other people. And like I said, if you're a venue or an owner, get a hold of me. I'd like to help get your name out there and let people know what you're doing, so we can, like I said, so we can all stay together and get through this together. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next time. TNT Off the Rail.